Chubstep.
Creating the oil of judgment.
Steed.
Chub. Step.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the king of the jungle.
You and I had some good times, didn't we, Daddy?
Notice me, Senpai! Notice me!
Who's in charge? Me or the devil? I think I'm in charge.
Shit.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
And the show started.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you had a great week. I had a great week. Jared, do you have a great week?
I had a great week. Thank you, Steve, so much. Look at this.
You're welcome.
Wow, thank you.
Positive
Very
vibes
positive
this episode.
intro. Better than when you told people a few weeks ago that they're going to die soon.
Well, not yet. Not so soon.
Okay.
Still got
Maybe
time
more
to
downloads.
buy.
You got to listen more.
You can buy a new car. Go out, buy a new car. You still got enough time left. This episode is sponsored by Hyundai.
Okay.
Hyundai. Drive further.
Didn't you have a Hyundai that the clutch you blew out on?
Yeah.
Like you didn't have, you had one Hyundai and it wasn't the most reliable car.
No, it sucked.
Okay.
They're paying us money, Jared. Okay,
well,
Hyundai's paying us big bucks.
I just want to give the people the truth over here.
We just say the word Hyundai 7 times in the episode.
And then you get some money, and somebody sends
we
you
got
a
like
check?
3 more. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll check it out. Check out Hyundai's. Yes. Not everybody has the same experience Steve has.
Nope. I've heard some don't break until somebody else hits them.
Or until the guy that picks up your car at the tow truck damages it as he's dropping it off at the shop.
Yep. And then it re-breaks down, and then somebody rear ends you.
Yeah.
Hyundai. Drive better.
And don't trust pickup truck drivers. Okay. Steed, I've got a few things, some relevant to the month, some just fun stuff like that. But we'll start with something you want to get to. What do you want to get to?
Okay, I can jump into my religion segment of the week.
That's the segment you have now?
Yeah, this is the religion segment of the week.
Okay.
This was inspired by recent events, which I won't go into, but there's a lot of religions out there for you to choose, and there's 221 according to the United States military.
Okay, the military's tracking that?
They only recognize 221. That's like their list. And I got some good options, which you or your family could go into. This is an official memo. There's some interesting religions on here. Some I haven't heard of. Some I have.
Okay, I like this.
There's like a million different Christian things: Bible, Presbyterian Church, Baptist Bible Fellowship. Then they got some fun ones, like something called the Christian Crusade.
Okay.
Sounds a little violent.
Yep.
I don't know what that is.
Sure.
If you don't want to be as violent, you can be in the religion of the Ohio Yearly Meeting of Friends.
Hey, who are your friends? I don't like
Okay. Specific.
Don't get this confused with the Kansas Yearly Meeting of Friends, which is also recognized. I don't know. This seems like a good one to join if you want to be religious, but don't have a lot of time.
And you don't have a lot of friends. So it's a good way to meet friends. Or do you have to be previously friends with them to join it? I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't look into it too much. This could be, like a Westboro Baptist type situation. Who knows?
It could be.
I don't know.
Also,
maybe they're
here's
nice
my
guys.
question. Does the Kansas one and the Ohio one, do they have completely like opposite views and that's why they're sticking with their state views? Or
I gotta assume
the same thing, but in different states.
Yeah, I assume there was a schism at some point.
I agree.
Because, you don't just start 2 churches called the Yearly Meeting of Friends without there being some conflict.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
But they're recognized.
Yeah.
My favorite religion on the list is heathen. You can be a heathen.
I thought that was just a term that you like Called, like, yelled at somebody.
Yeah, like damn you heathen. Like
Yes.
I yeah,
I've never
apparently
used I don't think I've ever used the word heathen before.
I may have uttered it under my breath.
Sure, but I've never like I literally don't know if I've ever said the word heathen.
I've never looked at somebody and been like filthy heathen.
Yeah.
You need to go to the um Baptist General Convention of Texas church, you heathen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what goes into being a heathen, but I would love to go to the army and be like, hey, I need a heathen priest to get down here right now.
Yes.
It was another fun one. You can be a druid,
Okay.
which I thought that was just like a class in video games.
I
That you
definitely thought that was like, yeah, a character type in a video
yeah,
game. Didn't know that
yeah.
was a religion that's recognized by the US military.
Yep, U.S. military says you can be a druid, and they were real. They were like the leaders of Ireland, and then the Romans came and killed them all.
Okay.
Um,
Not all of them. They're still functioning in
well,
the US.
no, they killed all of them, but now the modern druids. I don't know why I know about this, but the modern druids don't really even know what they're preaching or like following because all like the druids were killed and their records and stuff were wiped out by the Romans.
No, good. Okay.
Yeah, go Jesus. You can be what there was a fun one. Pagan. Is
Yeah.
pagan a thing? I don't know. That seems like less you're not ready to go full heathen, but you're going pagan.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um
exactly.
then you can be a shaman, which also I feel like that's a light druid.
Yep.
Asatru, that I don't know if that's a religion, but it sounds like wizard or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of
Some
these
type of
sounds like wizardy type things, yeah.
yeah, and then there's your classic militant fundamental Bible church. This
That's
is
the
like the
name of it?
Yep, the name is Militant Fundamental Bible
Bible
Church.
Church.
And I
Yeah.
really feel like that one is the one that's putting on those man camps and like trying to beat the gay out of you.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. That seems very aggressive.
I don't know, like you're already joining the army. You don't need to be in the militant church too. Like what are they militant? I don't know. They did remove one, the Tioga River Christian Conference. Don't know what they did, but they
How
removed
do you
it.
get removed from this?
I don't know, but they got removed. So yeah, if you're looking for a new church out there, there
There's-
are there's a lot that are recognized by the United States Army.
Okay, so ones you might not realize, but they actually are.
Yeah, I thought we might be able to like get your boy into one of them because who says one religion is better than the other? So
It's a
I
good
thought
point.
maybe we could get him to be a heathen druid combo.
I'll give them the like. Here's the thing: I'm going to leave things open for them as an option.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I'm going to do that. Obviously, Church of Four Pillars is in the running. Did you bring this up, Steve? Because you were in the military and you're wondering how you got to have some sort of connection to get Church of Four Pillars recognized
that would be big for us.
as a military
I assume
religion.
you need like 100,000 YouTube followers on your church's channel or something. Like,
Yeah. You think it's based on YouTube subscribe? So everybody listening right now, please just subscribe to us on YouTube, Chubstep Podcast. And then we'll try to at one point we can just change the name of Chubstep Podcast to Church of Four Pillars. And then that should help Steve get on
do
the
it for a
military
week
list.
or two, and then
Yeah.
yeah, we can go worldwide after that.
Sure. Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Steve. That's big news and news to me, actually. I always thought heathen was a bad thing, but I guess I can join the heathens. I can just be officially a heathen.
Yeah, I imagine they have some orgies. Like that's their Christmas.
Maybe that's what was happening in Dr. Daniel's house for people that haven't heard that Chubstep podcast episode a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
maybe
apparently
that's what's
it's some
happening in
like
this.
pagan, Germanic, Nordic shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem as cool as like it sounds, but
Yeah.
probably still better than like going to freaking church. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to play Steve. This is going to be two things here tied into kind of topical things and based on one thing you just said. So the first thing is going to be this is from Chubstep Matt. Chubstep Matt sent us a a follow-up. Remember when I talked about the guy who was blind when he climbed Mount
Climb the
Everest?
mountain. Yeah.
Yes.
Is this the
And
wheelchair guy?
no, he wasn't in a wheelchair. He was just blind.
No, there was a wheelchair guy that I saw. And if this isn't what you're
This is not what I'm talking about. This is actually
Okay.
so.
let me sidebar real quick.
Yes.
I saw an Instagram reel and it was a guy in a wheelchair and he was
Yep.
commenting, there's like 12 people roping him up this mountain. And he's like doing a voiceover. He's like, this is the hardest thing, I ever did. And I'm like, what? The guy in the wheelchair is saying this? Like the hardest thing I ever did? And like the comments were roasting this guy. Because
Yeah.
he's getting pulled up the mountain and he's like, this was super hard. And everyone's like, man, you deserve to they're like, you deserve to sit down once you got to the top.
Oh
Like,
my God.
oh, it was brutal. It was brutal.
Brutal. Yeah. Again, we all know the unsung heroes are the Nepalese workers that get the Sherpas that get them up the mountain. I mean, that's
Yeah.
everything I've ever heard about it.
Well,
Is
this
those
was
guys
just
go to
like,
work.
it seemed like British guys or something.
Okay.
I don't think it was Everest.
Oh, might not have been Everest. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Okay. So here had to do with the guy we were talking about a few weeks ago. I'm going to play the clip. You let me know if you can hear it or not. But I will play the audio. This is from a news clip. This is a legit news clip.
We're going to interview Eric Weihenmayer, who climbed the highest mountain in the world, Mount Everest. But he's gay. I mean, he's gay. Excuse me, he's blind. So we'll hear about that coming up.
Okay, as we head to the break, I'll look at this.
I've seen that clip before.
Yes. So that clip is super old. It's from Matt sent me. It's on YouTube now, but it's originally on E-Bombs World. Like that's how old it was.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So people that don't know E-Bombs World, that was kind of like the first spot people were checking out, kind of viral videos in E-Bombs World. So that was the guy we were talking about. I did that years ago. Like that lady said he did it, but he's gay instead of he's blind.
Well, it's good. You can't misread that.
It's ridiculous. It's not even close to the same word. No. And that's the most ridiculous thing with news being live is like there's no going back on that. Like that clip lives on forever. That lady, whatever job she goes to, she's known as the lady that misspoke and said that.
Yep. Well,
to my knowledge, he was straight. I don't think he was.
He could have let it slip.
Who knows?
He got on the top of that mountain. He whispers something into her ear. Maybe, I don't know.
You think she was there also?
Sure, she could have been. How does she have this knowledge? This inside knowledge?
Right. Good point. So I thought we would do that for Pride Month that just ended. I also have one more story here that ties into that. Bing bong.
That was our Pride Month episode.
Bing bong. Well, I got that. Oh, it's just so ridiculous. Like that somebody like it's not even close to the word is not even close.
Yeah.
Just a good mess up and look.
I got a Pride Month steed science coming up.
Okay,
later.
good. So this is about the song YMCA.
Okay, WYMCA. Yeah.
WYMCA. Everybody knows the song. It's fun to stay at the YMCA, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I found this article on LGBTQ Nation, and it says, "Is it actually gay? Here's the true meaning of the song YMCA." So this came up because I was actually
I'm my vote before hearing this.
Yeah.
It's pretty gay.
Yeah. So I was at a HOA meeting the other day, and one of the guys there made a comment about how everybody at weddings sings a song and doesn't really know the meaning or anything behind it, just a fun song to do like a hand motion to while you're singing the song. And he made that comment, and I was like, well, I never really thought about it.
Thought it was just a fun place to stay.
I just fun place to stay. And obviously YMCA Young Men's Christian Association. So not only does this tie your church thing together, but it ties in
wow, great
the
job.
whole Pride Month thing, double bing bong.
Bing bong, bing bong.
So there's been some back and forth on the true meaning of YMCA. But the lead singer, a guy named Victor Willis, he co-wrote the song and he dresses as the policeman.
Okay.
But he said that YMCA was not written to be a gay song because of the simple fact I'm not gay. I wanted to write a song that could fit anyone's lifestyle. He also wrote, I will sue the next media organization or anyone else that falsely suggests YMCA is somewhat about illicit gay sex. Get your mind out of the gutter, please.
That's what he
So,
said?
this is a real
The village
but
people?
yes,
The village people.
but then he said this. Despite this, he also said, I'm happy the gay community adopted it as their anthem. I have no qualms with that. So a little bit of back and forth. But multiple people in the band. So basically he said he just wrote it because he liked to play basketball. He liked to play like
At the YMCA.
YMCA, just like to play basketball with his friends. And it was just kind of about every guys can have fun at the YMCA, right? And that was basically what he was saying when he co-wrote the song. But then other members of the band are like, okay, so one of the other guys is in the band. It was a fascinating place where a person could work out with weights, play basketball, swim, take classes, and get a room. Plus, with Jacquez being gay, I had a lot of friends I worked out with who were in the adult film industry, and he was impressed by meeting people there who had seen in videos and magazines. Those visits with me planted a seed in him, and that's how we got the idea for YMCA. So one of the other writers was basically like, tells the complete opposite story. And then one of the band's construction workers said, YMCA definitely has a gay origin.
Yeah. So, I'm looking them up. They met at a gay bar. Like the group formed at a gay bar.
Another one of the band members, he said, look at us, we're a gay group. The song is written to celebrate gay men at the YMCA. Yes, absolutely, and gay people love it. So anyway, it's just funny that like the lead singer's like, no, it's not. But then everybody else is like, yeah, what are you talking about? Definitely.
Come on, dude.
But it's just funny because I feel like you never really think about that as when it's just played and like kind of the meaning behind it. They also said you're probably doing the dance wrong. The M, so instead of people typically do the Y, arms like a V
arms
at
out.
The top, right?
Uh-huh.
And then the M, a lot of people do, you're touching the top of your head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently the proper
Not how
way,
I do it.
According to the band, the M is actually
goes down to your chest.
Goes down to your chest and your fingertips touch. Like the fingernails touch. Your fingernails touch. So
I knew this. Yeah.
I did not know that. That was new. That was news to me. So
you don't go to the right bars, Jared.
That's a good point. I do not go to the right bars. You're right. So
you're doing an M up top, you're instantly outed as a fraud.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So I just wanted to talk about the little bit of the, in my mind, I didn't really ever think about the background of the story. I mean, it's pretty obvious once you think about it. But it just, and then also interesting internally whether the band, one guy's like, no, definitely not, but also okay. And then the other guy's like, yeah, definitely. So
yeah, this guy's gay.
Yeah. So anyway, there we go. YMCA. That was my last thing for
wow.
Pride Month that just ended.
That was YMC gay. Great job.
There you go. Thank you, Steve.
Pride Month.
There you go.
You want to hear about the most Pride Monthy animal in the animal kingdom and how it reproduces?
Yes.
All right.
Everything in this world is made up of matter. And those matters behave with each other in certain ways. And that, students, is chemistry. Everything in this world is made up of matter. And those different matters behave amongst each other in different ways. And that, children,
is steed science.
Going to a steed science here. How did I come across this? I don't know. But buckle up because we're going to learn about how worms reproduce. Worms. Okay. Specifically earthworms. We're going to dive into other worms.
I would like to know this because here's my thing. Worms are weird, first of all. Secondly, how do worms find each other?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was wondering. Information. I've always wondered this, like, the ground's so big.
It's a big ground. You got a lot of ground, and it's dark down there.
It's dark
You
down there,
know,
exactly.
and worms don't chirp or anything.
No noise.
But yeah, worms. So you're familiar with the common earthworm. It's long, it's slippery, it's worm shaped.
It's worm shaped. It's squirmy.
Well, I'll say it's pencil shaped because I can't use it. It's pencil shaped but squiggly.
You cannot use the thing itself to describe that thing.
Yeah, so it's pencil shaped but squiggly. And
could you say hot dog shaped, but skinnier and smaller?
Yes, skinny, small hot dog. Sometimes longer than a hot dog, though.
Ribbed
but never thicker.
Ribbed for pleasure.
They are ribbed for pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just quick answer how they find each other. They use chemical signals. Chemical signals, Jared. So they can reproduce in the ground, but most of the time they reproduce outside of the ground.
Oh.
So they come up, usually at night, typically, and then they do their deed, which I'll get into here right now. So earthworms. What do you think, Jared? Do you think they have sex? Think earthworms have sex?
I'm trying to think about this. I don't think they. I'm trying to think if they have any orifices.
Because fish don't have sex, you know.
I guess their mouth. They maybe have a mouth. I don't really even know. Worm just seems like one solid thing. I'm just picturing my finger, and I'm like, my finger couldn't have sex with another finger.
Well,
unless I do the circle, unless I put a circle, then I put another finger through it, like the people that simulate, when they're trying to do.
Yeah, they're docking. Yeah,
they're docking.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, they have sex big time.
Oh, okay.
They have big time sex.
So if anybody's under 18, turn this off.
Yeah, this is gonna get hot and heavy, and there's gonna be some big boy words in here.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna say the word sperm.
Okay.
And we're gonna leave it in the episode because it's for science.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna say it again. Sperm.
Okay.
Sperm. Jay, you want to give it a go?
I'm not the scientist.
All right, sperm. Okay, Hyundai. Anyways, okay, so earthworms, fun fact, they're hermaphrodites. So some in the animal kingdom, sometimes hermaphrodites, they can do asexual reproduction, which is where they have sex with themselves or they do some other stuff. Not earthworms. Earthworms, all sexual reproduction.
Okay.
They're close cousins like flatworms, which is another group. They can do asexual, and they can either chop off part of their body and grow a new half, essentially.
Okay.
So it's crazy. You got one worm, and then it just splits into two, and now you got two worms. Or they can do
twins.
Yeah, twins. Well, they would be the same exact worm, but there's just two now. They
paternal
clone themselves.
Twins.
Yeah, and maternal, because they're hermaphrodites.
Okay.
But then they can also do something called budding, and they grow like a little tumor on them, and then that tumor is the new worm, and then eventually they shake that tumor off.
Okay.
So that's how some flatworms can do it. But now earthworms, hermaphrodites, so they have both male and female organs. They have to produce sexually, so they got to find each other. So they use their chemical signals.
And what does a chemical signal mean, Steve? Is that just they're emitting a scent? There's chemicals that they're there's some sort of chemical. There's a chemical they're releasing that the other earthworms can sense in some way.
Yes. Okay. Yes, exactly. Like pheromones. They're kind of like pheromones. They're emitted and detected.
Okay. It's not like they necessarily smell, but other earthworms can detect them.
Yeah, they detect it somehow. I didn't, we're doing the sex. We're not going into the chemical signals.
Okay.
So after they find each other, they line up, right? And we got to change the name of the position 69 to worm style. You want to do it worm style? Because that's how the worms do it. They go, because they've got their male parts. Let's see, it would be the male parts at the top, female at the bottom of the worm body.
Yeah.
So then they got to line these up with each other because both have so one takes the sperm and puts it into this is fun. This is sorry, ladies. Worms don't have a clitoris, but they do have a clitellum. And the sperm goes into the no, it goes under the clitellum.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever seen a worm, you know they got the head and then they got that like ring that's a little bit down further.
Yes.
That's their clitellum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's where the eggs are stored,
News to
I
me.
guess. Yeah. So don't touch that part of the worm when you pick it up.
Okay.
So they do the trading of sperm, right? Both worms shoot the sperm into the spot.
They're
And
pregnant. Yeah, they're impregnating each other.
Yeah, it makes sense. You get two pregnancies, two guys, right?
Yeah.
Two chicks. Two bodies, two pregnancies. So then once they disperse the sperm, this clitellum actually kind of forms a ring around the worm and gets filled with fluid. And then the worm, when it starts worming, the clitellum starts moving down their body. Okay? Down their body. And then, it collects the eggs, and then it keeps going, and then it collects the sperm into this clitellum. So the worm's worming, the clitellum's rolling like if you put a hair tie
they're like
on
organs
your
are basically
arm.
moving throughout their body as they're squirming around.
This is on the outside of the worm.
Okay.
Yeah. So imagine you put a hair tie on your arm. That's the clitellum. And then you roll it down. But you got some eggs and some sperm on your arm, and it mushes them all up.
Okay.
And then they eventually worm their little way, and it, falls off the clitellum. And that creates a cocoon. It like hardens into like some type of cocoon, which holds the fertilized eggs. And it's sealed up. And then the embryos develop. And then eventually the worm babies come out. 2 to 20 worm babies come out. They're able to feed on their own. And if they have the, good food, let's see, they can mate within fast. Where was it? I don't know. Let's say 6 months ish.
How many months?
6. I don't know.
They live that long? How long do worms live?
Worms? Probably 10 years.
You think
I don't know
so?
where. I don't know. I can't find where it said the day.
I got it.
You look up how long earthworms live. I'll find how long it takes.
Between 1 and 8 years.
Yeah. Oh, that's a long
Nightcrawlers
time.
can live up to 20 years, but on average between 6 and 9 years.
That's crazy, actually.
That is wild.
That's a long time to be worming.
Yeah. And they can produce up to 80 cocoons a year.
80 cocoons. That's a lot of worms.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking for they can reach adulthood pretty quick. Just take my word on it.
Okay.
Red wigglers is a species of worm. So that's how worms do it.
Okay. See, I had no idea that they I had zero idea about any of that.
You didn't know they do it worm style.
That's worm style. And the little thing that they have like a cocoon that rolls up. So do they
the clitorum?
The clitorum, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Inappropriate to me. So is there certain like chemicals that to me what's risky about this is they don't have eyes in the same sense, right? I don't think they have eyes that can see stuff. And so they don't know who they're going to get matched up with on a chemical basis here.
It's all the chemical signals they put out.
Yeah.
You put out some good pheromones, you get the lady man worms.
Lady man worms. And it is a little bit, I don't know. It's risky. Like you might get a bad one that just gets out some good chemicals.
Yeah. Well, that's worm style, baby. That's the dangers of worming.
That's all the dangers of worming. Yeah.
And I think it's just really becoming of the worms that every time they bang a man and a woman. So they're Pride Month and all the time.
They don't care either. It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good, baby.
It's all good.
and they do it 80 times a year, I guess.
Up to 80 times a year. I'm
That's
sure there's
wild.
ones that are a little bit, crude and stuff like that aren't doing as much.
True.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, thank you, Steed. News to me. Fun fact for all the I don't think I'll be able to look at worms the same, or at least look at that little thing around them the same.
At nighttime, I'm going to be looking for worms doing it. I want to see them.
If you get a good video, if you find a good video, post it on Chubstep Podcast on YouTube.
It's very clear what they're doing. Except if you walk near them, because I've tried to get earthworms at night. Yeah. I didn't realize they were out there looking for strange. I thought they just went on top of the grass at night for some reason.
Yeah.
And they were trying to bang. But you can find them, but they feel your footsteps, and then they'll shoot back into the ground.
Okay.
So if you are trying to catch worms banging,
you get a bunch of horny worms at night.
Well, what you want to do, you want to moisten the ground, right? Moisten the ground, not too wet, not too just damp. And then probably set up a hammock where you can observe silently from a post above.
Okay.
And then you can just watch these worms come up. Might take a few nights, but it'll be worth it.
Yeah. You're right. I think it's definitely worth it. Perfect. Well, thank you, Steve. I would have a hard time topping that one. I'm trying to think if I'll end with one last thing. Got a few other things. I'm gonna end with one last thing. Did you see that Neil deGrasse Tyson responded to Terrence Howard's Joe Rogan podcast?
I watched Neil deGrasse Tyson's full 12-minute video.
So did I. I watched that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about Terrence Howard on Joe Rogan a few weeks ago. I mentioned I in my past life I knew Terrence Howard pretty well. Neil deGrasse Tyson did a 12-minute rebuttal video because Terrence Howard had mentioned Neil deGrasse Tyson oh yeah, he bashed my work and all this kind of stuff. It was
because Terrence was on there just making absurd claims about science, and then and then he was like, "Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson was really mean to me about it," and Joe Rogan's like, "Oh, you poor guy, what the fuck, Neil?" And Neil's like, "Oh, I was mean. All right, he kept the receipts. He kept his whole ass."
Oh, it was amazing. He had all the documents from it. So basically, the end result was that Terrence Howard had claimed all these claims about basically new math, right? 1 times 1 equals 2 is a big thing, right? And there's a couple other little equations and stuff he has. I mentioned before that we had recorded a audiobook that he had helped, he had written. And not Chubstep, but my old job.
Yeah, not Chubstep.
Well, I mean, Chubstep, we would have done the right. If he would have asked, we would have done it.
We could have made it happen.
Yeah, we could have made it happen. Put it on Chubstep Podcast YouTube. But he sent this to Neil deGrasse Tyson to kind of look over, give his once over, and hear his thoughts. And Neil deGrasse Tyson did basically a very scientific review of this, and is interesting. This is a great thoughts, but a lot of this claim is not accurate. Here's why. All this kind of stuff. He did this for every single page of this 30-something page document, and all Terrence took from that is fuck this. This guy's just shitting on my point, not even reading it. And it sounded like he gave him a really scientific response.
Yeah, he said he's do I want to Terrence gave it to him to read, and Neil's like, all right, well, I'm gonna treat this like a scientific journal that somebody wrote, and I'm gonna critique it as some a peer would do.
Yes.
To take it seriously and look at it.
As a courtesy. Yeah.
Which is crazy. That would be so nice if somebody did that. Neil deGrasse Tyson is my boy. So
I know.
I'm biased. Yeah, and there's red marks all over it, and God, it is harsh though. In the opening 2 sentences of this, long document, Neil just in red writes this statement is false.
Yes.
Sorry, pal, but you got this wrong.
Yes. So actually, if people want to go ahead and see when we originally discussed this, Steed, was June 22nd of 2021, episode 314. And that's featuring Chubstep Ben Thiel. He is a big math guy, and he reviewed Terrence Howard's original take on math back in 2021. So this has been popping up recently because of the Joe Rogan thing, but Chubstep was actually talking about it. 3 years.
Yeah, we got to get a Rogan spot. I don't know if we could take.
Maybe
the
he's got to
backlash,
try to
though.
get a Chubstep spot. See if we're available. Perfect. All right. Well, people email the show chubstep.podcast@gmail.com. Chubstep on YouTube. We're there. Check it out.
Look at it.
Check it out. Check it out. And share the episodes. We like when you share them and get more audience, get more participation.
Send an email.
Send an email. Sure, we like the emails.
Yeah.
The show has ended. Be gone.
Now you know you got to go.
Peace. This is Yasin.